So Sophie Cunningham went down with what did not look like the greatest injury.
Sophie Cunningham's injury scared everybody half to death, man.
Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White just dropped a real surprise about Sophie Cunningham's injury. And no, it's not your usual she's healing fine kind of news. There's more going on here with some twists, tension, and drama no one expected before the season started. If you were expecting Sophie back with just tape and a pep talk, you're going to be disappointed.
She went down, rolled her ankle after landing on Ryan Howard's leg, which is not an ideal situation, not an ideal thing at all coming into the season.
Let's be real. Sophie Cunningham isn't the team's top scorer or flashiest passer, but she's one of a kind. She brings the fire, sets the tone, and adds toughness no one else can. She makes sure every rival feels her presence. So when Coach White shared her injury update, it wasn't just about health, it was about identity. Sophie brings energy, edge, and leadership that can't be replaced. If you're ready for her return, type Spicy Sophie in the comments right now.
Let's talk to this game. Number one, the starters for Indiana were okay, right? We ended up seeing a change in the starting lineup. We saw Sophie Cunningham get the starting nod. However, Sophie Cunningham had to go out of the game. I forgot what half that was, if that was in the first half or the second half, but Sophie Cunningham was coming down. She was in the air, coming down. She ended up rolling her ankle on Ryan Howard's foot. She went out of the game, was on the bench for a little while, and I believe she went to the locker room, but she did not return back.
The news wasn't totally bad, but it revealed how crucial Sophie is to Indiana's balance. She's not the center of attention. Caitlin Clark owns that spotlight, but she does the dirty work so others can succeed. Cunningham doesn't care about being seen. She chases hustle plays, locks in on defense, and stares down anyone who tries to push around her teammates. She's not in the highlights, but every player and coach knows her value is impossible to replace.
Yes, Sophie Cunningham got injured. Okay, she got injured. She landed on her ankle the wrong way. Let's go ahead and look through the play right now. All right. So here she is here, coming for the rebound, boom, and lands on Ryan Howard's foot the wrong way, and she was holding it, man.
When she first got hurt, the team was in disbelief. Some thought it was minor. She'll bounce back, they assumed. That's what Sophie does. Gets knocked down, brushes it off, and goes again. But this one felt different. The pain stayed. The scans told a harsher truth. And suddenly the Fever had to face playing, at least for a while, without their enforcer. It was like taking off the safety bar on a coaster. It still moves, but it doesn't feel as steady.
Now, at that moment, everybody was scared in the live stream, man. I was holding my breath. My face was fixed a certain way that looked crazy. I mean, we were scared in there, okay? Now, the main thing is, yes, she twisted her ankle, okay? And she was out for the rest of the game.
Coach White didn't sugarcoat the situation. She said losing Cunningham leaves a hole, not in scoring, but in toughness and mental grit that helps close games. Sophie's the one shouting coverages, pestering rivals, and pumping up the team when things get tense. She adds edge without needing stats. Without her, Indiana will need someone else to get loud, dig in, and bring the same physical force she delivers every night.
Yeah, just giving a different kind of look and seeing what we might be able to do from that standpoint with Sophie's energy in the starting lineup and with DB's production coming off the bench. So, we'll probably continue throughout the course of the week tinkering a little bit. But preseason gives us a good opportunity to see what we like, because it's important to have a good starting group and it's important to have energy and production off the bench.
But don't get confused. Sophie's not just sitting back and waiting. She's already locked into her rehab. For her, recovery isn't just healing. It's a goal, a plan, a watch me now kind of mission. And if you know her story, you know she's not built to rest. She's likely watching the clock, itching to throw her body into the paint again. This isn't a stop sign, it's a short pause. And once she's back, that bottled up energy will explode on the court in full force.
Sophie's injury too, is there any update on that?
I don't think so. She was in there getting it in a cold tub, so she keeps saying I'll be fine, so I trust her.
What makes this all more interesting is how her absence affects more than the box score. Sure, the Fever have young stars, but it's Sophie who brings that rare force, the one who dives for every loose ball and talks just enough to distract opponents. She's the team's energy guide. When things slow down, she lifts them. Without her, it's like watching a show without a beat. The group still plays, but something's off. She's more than glue. She's a pressure valve. Without Everything hits harder and feels less steady.
To this game. So I hope that Sophie Cunningham is okay. Again, it looks like a rolled ankle, so hopefully it's not too bad. Maybe she's out for a day or so. We'll see. We'll find out an update from the Indiana Fever. But Sophie Cunningham did go out of the game.
So what's the outlook right now? Coach White stayed calm but honest. The team isn't panicking, but they're aware. Sophie's return date is still unknown. There's some hope, but there's also truth. The Fever are holding it together. Caitlin. Clark is shining, Kelsey Mitchell is heating up, and Aaliyah Boston is locking both ends. But without Sophie stirring the pot, Indiana must change more than lineups. They need to shift their entire mindset.
That's a positive thing. She was like trying to see if she could get back in the game. Obviously, they're not dumb. They're not going to put her back into a preseason game. But she was trying to get back into the game, which is big. Like if we're honest, that is genuinely big.
Here's the real deal. Sophie being out might not lead the news, but when she comes back, it'll hit like thunder. She's the Fever's backbone, the piece you don't see until it's gone. And while the league keeps praising flash and finesse, Indiana knows the game's heart is grit. No one brings that grit like Sophie. While she trains with her usual fire, remember this. She's not tiptoeing back in. She's returning with a boom. Sophie doesn't sneak in. She storms. In reclaims her spot and proves why she's the soul of this squad.
But she is okay, all right? It did look like it could have been something worse because of how she landed, and it was like more so of an Achilles looking stretch instead of a twisted sideways foot. So that's what scared that's what scared me. But nonetheless, man, it came out that it was a twisted ankle and she was okay, and she was just gonna sit out for the rest of the game.
Coach Stephanie White, the cool strategist behind the Fever, doesn't panic. When she heard the latest on Sophie, she probably nodded, then calmly went back to sketching plays on a notepad. Because White knows Sophie isn't just a scorer, she's the engine behind it all. And while this isn't a typical she'll be fine report, it's also not the end. It's an update with layers that shows how this team is different without Sophie. She's not the face, that's Clark, but she's the fire inside. Her injury didn't break them, it changed them. Sophie's not just effort, she's balance.
You guys.
Oh my God. Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. She's definitely an X factor.
Everyone knows Sophie's not here for sympathy. Most players sit out and take it slow with an ice pack. Not her. She's planning her comeback like it's a mission. Her rehab is both physical and mental. She's likely watching game tape, reminding rookies to box out and texting tips. For her, this isn't a setback. It's just the loading screen. Soon, she'll be back throwing her body around and doing the little things only she brings.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
The second Sophie hit the hardwood after that bump from the Mystics, she got back up like the fall insulted her. No drama, no pause, just a fierce look and a promise to return better. That wasn't just strength. That was pure Sophie. She's built to take hits. Pain's just a checkpoint. That's what makes her so important to this squad. When the Fever need flash, Clark delivers. But when they need fire, Sophie's their answer.
I mean, yikes. Kiki, the new Kennedy. A lot of people not happy. Demon Sophie, yeah, she showed up. Look at this. They're celebrating that. Okay. I mean, it's crazy. Here we go again. She's yelling while Kiki's laughing in her face. Never seen a rook have a vet so rattled.
If you want to understand Sophie's worth, just remove her from the floor. The team's rhythm shifts. The spacing feels slower. She's not just loud. She sets the mood. Think of her like a defensive thermostat. When the other side starts pushing, she turns up the intensity. When things get chaotic, she leans in and finds her moment. You won't see that on paper, but every player on the court feels it when it's missing.
Well, first and foremost, they play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're both just tough as nails. They have length. They use their length really well. Their activity level on the defensive end and offensively. I mean, they're like mirror images of one another. I mean, the way that they can cut, the way that they can spread the floor, and what they bring on the defensive end of the floor.
She's not putting up 40 points a game, and she doesn't need to. She clears room for others to shine. She sacrifices her body, commands the defense, and plays like a guard trapped in a forwards frame. And under the tough look is a smart, sharp player. Sophie's got a high basketball IQ and a sixth sense for momentum. When she's on the sideline, her voice is missed. When she's on the floor, you feel her in every play.
You want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Gamebridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our sixth man right there.
They call Sophie the glue, but she's more than that. She's the heavy-duty bond holding everything up. Without her, the Fever still have skills, but the vibe shifts. It's like a great band without a drummer. Still good, but not the same. Sophie brings rhythm. She makes the engine go. And right now, with her out, Indiana's working hard to stay in sync until she returns and puts the beat back in place.
You know, we put Sophie in position where she was running the point guard, right? We put Lexi in position at the end of the game where she was running the point guard. And so I'm thankful to have players like that who are comfortable being uncomfortable and doing what's necessary for our team to find success. I mean, that's part of, one of our core values is be selfless. And sometimes that means playing out of position. And I thought they both did a great job of that, but really like their energy and competitive spirit.
Sophie's story isn't about fame. It's about being the one players look to when the team needs heart. She won't let the group slow down, give in, or let rivals get comfortable. Even now, injured, she's likely coaching from the sidelines, speaking, up in practices, meetings, and film sessions. Her leadership doesn't shut off with injury. If anything, it gets louder when she's not able to suit up and play.
I liked our aggressiveness. I liked the fact that we picked up, pretty much 94 feet, that they didn't get anything easy. I mean, it's not often that you come out with a win in games where you shoot 30% from the floor. And I felt like our defense really held, gave us an opportunity to get back in the game, gave us an opportunity to finish the game.
So what's next for the Fever while Sophie's out? They'll push forward, they'll adjust, they'll find ways to stay afloat. But they're counting the days until their spark is back, guarding the toughest matchup, smiling as she talks, trash, and diving like it's the finals. The glue will return. And when she does, Indiana's whole vibe will change. One thing's for sure. Sophie Cunningham doesn't come back quietly. She shows up, ready to wreck shop. If Indiana wants a deep run, she's the spark to light it. Comment Spicy Sophie, hit like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.